This is Driving Solutions, exclusively on CBTNews.com.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Welcome into another edition of Driving Solutions right here at CBT News. You likely recognize my next guest today, as she's joined us before here on CBT News. And if you attend any industry events, you've probably, most likely anyway, seen her. She's frequently out on the road talking to dealers and looking at ways to help them serve customers and capitalize on profit opportunities. Kathryn Schifferle, who's the founder and chief vision officer at Work Truck Solutions. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
It's great to be here, and I'm so glad to see you, Jim. I'm so sorry I didn't get to see you in New Orleans. So
yes, it was as we were talking before we got recording today. It was a very unique year, kind of crazy with the weather, and whoever would have thought that many inches of snow would have fallen, on New Orleans at that time of year. So they weren't prepared for it, and it really held things up. But nevertheless, it's beyond us now. So
yeah.
So nevertheless,
I was really proud of my team because everybody but a couple of us West Coasters drove from Texas or drove from Florida to get there. So
wow,
it was an important show.
Yeah, it was, and that's great that they did that. NADA is always one of those highlights because I get to connect with so many people that I don't see in the automotive space because we've got a studio here and it's not always possible for us to have a live, a broadcast with people. So it gives us the opportunity to talk to people and find out what's going on with them. And so many people, have pretty much said that things are back to normal, so to speak. And so we've had so many of those types of conversations and about inventory levels and sales and where it is today versus where it was just in the last 3 or 4 years. What are you hearing from dealers, you and your team, and what are some of the things they're talking to you guys about?
Well, I agree with you, Jim. I think the kind of underpinning theme is sort of back to normal, like whatever normal is, right?
Right.
But there are extra focus now on what that means, because of course we all know that normal now is less profit.
Right.
So
that's right.
The coming down from the sugar high, sort of, like what does that really mean, and how does that translate into operations in the dealership? More efficiency, more attention.
Yeah.
And the good news, I think, is that it's kind of snapped everybody into a more professional view of running business. And that's good for us, because if they start looking at how to really run their business, commercial is such a great opportunity. I know you're enthusiastic. You always
there's no question.
That vision, right?
Yeah, no brainer for me. Yeah.
And so we feel that that is surfacing, that we're now not only being able to serve the dealers better because of what we've built, but also because of their attention to it, if you will.
That's right. And so many dealers, are, now that they've, like you said, they were kind of, drunk on gross profits, so to speak. I know I'm paraphrasing there, but so many dealers are walking around. You called it a sugar high. I'm saying they're drunk on gross profit, but it's both one. It's one and the same. But the days of selling vehicles at MSRP and above are gone. They're done. Which means we're back to focusing on finding efficiencies in the dealership and more ways that we can utilize our dealerships and our stores and our lots and our people to sell other products. And I think that for the people that you have actually worked with on commercial, by bringing commercial into their dealerships, it's been a real eye-opener. I've had the opportunity to speak with a number of them, and they said, wow, it has really changed our world and actually filled up that gross profit, that loss of gross profit in so many cases, which is exciting for them because they have the lot, they have the facility, in many cases they have the manpower to look at these other ways, such as commercial fleets and such. So what are you saying to dealers that have got that kind of a mindset, that say that, we got to find a way to make more money out there?
What's really exciting to me is that it's not just here's another profit. It's what does a dealership really mean today,
Yeah.
right? And of course, you know that Jim Press
Yeah.
is our
Yeah.
senior advisor, and you
Yeah.
know how great he is, both
Great
has
car
been and
guy.
is.
Yep.
And you know, when we first started talking about commercial, he envisioned exactly what we're talking about, that someday dealers would need to pay more attention to the relationship that they have with their customers.
Mm-hmm.
He envisioned this B2B relationship model that commercial is as having value
Yeah.
to the dealer in their day-to-day life, if you will,
Yeah.
right? And it was really great because we've been doing, I don't know if you knew this, but in December, we went live on FordPro.com. We're powering their
Wow.
inventory.
Fantastic.
And as a result, we've been working with Ford Pro and doing some webinars. And the last one that we did in January was a great operator out of Dixon, California called DePratt Ford. And the young man who has been building their commercial system now for a while, he validated for me that not only have they been adding, you know, mobile service revenue, better revenue from their actual, mobile, their services.
Right.
They've been better at, you know, creating relationships and having ongoing sales. But the fact is that commercial buyers are more loyal. And as a result, they are getting a great, you know, one-to-many kind of opportunity, which is, here's not only am I buying 5 of these from you, but everybody in my company is now exposed to your dealership, and we're all loyal.
100%. That's exactly right. And we've talked about it before, but behind every, you know, owner, or I should say somebody that comes in and says, hey, I need 3 or 4 trucks or 5 trucks or whatever the case might be, they also have, you know, 2 or 3 vehicles, personal vehicles in their driveway at home, and whether they're kids or, you know, their spouses or what have you. So that's the exciting part. I mean, now you've introduced that dealer group, you know, through the commercial side, to all of a sudden saying, well, how come we don't buy our cars here? If I'm going to get a Ford or whatever the case might be, then you know, why not get a Ford F-150 from you and have it serviced here? Or maybe you've got a Lincoln franchise and we want a luxury vehicle or what have you. So it really all works hand in hand. And I think for so many years, dealers, and maybe I'm being short-sighted on this, but I think the dealers that didn't get it didn't see that. They didn't see the connection. They said, no, commercial is commercial, and you know, we're dealing with consumers, everyday consumers, but they're all one and the same today, right?
It's the same community, number one. That's how I think of a dealership, as being, you know, important to the community.
That's right. And good point.
And I really like that, you know, this loyalty builds. The help that the dealership can provide now is kind of more around the dealership having those partnerships and having the technology. Before I get it, it was harder because commercial was behind in the technology, and so you had to have people that, you know, knew how to build a truck.
Yeah.
But that's not the case anymore.
Right.
Now it's about having the set of tools that you need to be consultative, the set of tools to click a button and know what kind of vehicle works for a construction company as opposed to a caterer.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. Yeah, no question about it. I liken it to a dealership that says, hey, we got to find other ways to make money and have other profit centers and maximize efficiencies. So they build a body shop, you know, on the same location as their dealership because they have the room. Or maybe they take on a rent-a-car franchise because they know that customers need rent-a-cars from them. And all of these are very viable profit centers. Allstate actually got into the to the picture and said, have an Allstate, you know, center right there, a store right there to buy insurance from. And so this commercial vehicle idea is like such a natural. It's a no-brainer for dealers.
Well, you know, to that point, one of the things that recently that Jim Press said to me was he's looking at where we are now, similar to where F&I was 15 years ago, where F&I was your brother-in-law in a closet, right? And
Yeah.
now look at what it means to a
Oh,
dealership.
it's
And that,
essential.
that's where commercial is poised. And with the
Right.
support of the OEMs, we're all acknowledging that this is a stable, regular business
Right.
opportunity. And in addition, it has open doors to these others. In fact, one of the things, so we do twice a year, we host or build a virtual event called the Commercial Vehicle Business Summit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's April 2nd and 3rd, the spring coming up. And
Okay.
so because we think of this as kind of like a broad ecosystem where we want everybody to be educated.
Sure.
And in that, our theme this spring is, building the future together.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things over the last 4 years that we've been doing this, so we've done 8 of them so far,
Wow.
is that there's been a lot of conversation around electric vehicle conversion
Mm-hmm.
in the commercial space, because
Yeah, for sure.
all you read about was the consumers, right?
Right.
But when innovation happens, a lot of times the true traction happens in the business world,
Mm-hmm.
because the decisions are being made because there's an advantage or of some sort. It's an analytical decision, not
That's
an
right.
emotional decision.
That's right.
And so about a year ago, we met at the Work Truck Show's Green Truck Summit. I met the business development manager for JD Power, and he showed me the ZappyRide tools that
Mm-hmm.
JD Power had acquired for helping consumers understand that conversion. And I went nuts, because I thought, here's what's really going to help businesses
Mm-hmm.
in their ability to make that thought process decision. And so I'm very excited. We announced this at NADA. We've gone live on convoy.com, COMVOY.com.
Okay.
If somebody goes to Convoy, you'll see there's a button right at the top that says EV/alt fuel, right?
Okay.
And we've added this whole section now that is using these tools that have been modified pretty significantly to focus on how to help a business make those kinds of decisions, from incentives to a total cost of ownership calculator,
Mm-hmm.
Mapping of the routing and the charging and what kinds of chargers,
That's
all
great.
of it in
Wow.
one commercial electric vehicle hub.
Wow.
And so I'm very excited about that. And
Yeah, as you should be.
appreciate
That's
the letting me
fantastic.
babble.
Yeah. No, and you're exactly right. We I think focus so much on EVs on the in the dealership side without thinking about commercial. But look at every big company out there, including Amazon and so
Yep.
many others. UPS. What are we seeing now? We're seeing electric vehicles that are delivering our packages, and now I'm starting to see more and more plumbers and contractors coming to the home and what have you, where they're driving EVs. And obviously that's
it is
the
an
future.
area where they can, kind of contribute, green to the community.
Sure.
And there is a certain way of looking at the kind of use cases that make sense, the geography that makes sense. And so all
That's
of
right.
that is now more public and visible, and dealers can use it. And we're working on ways to help embed more directly into the dealer's website themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I spoke to one of your customers there that you worked with to bring commercial trucks into their environment, and I had said, "What if you had to sum it up? What would you say?" And he said, "I'm mad at myself because I waited so long." So you probably hear that from people, right? Where it's like, "Oh my gosh, why did I fight
Well,
this for so long?"
Jim, I'm glad they tell you that. I think just not to be too humorous, but I think they don't want to tell me because they maybe are afraid I'll raise the prices or something.
Imagine that, right? That's it's fantastic. It really is a great, and you know how much of a fan I am of what you're doing and this whole concept of dealers getting into the commercial vehicle business. Again, it's no surprise to those of you or to those of us who know you and hear you over time. You continue to find the way to help dealers and all of you dealers out there and GMs out there as you build your strategy for 2025. and work on ways to boost your bottom line, you absolutely need to look at commercial vehicles and talk to Kathryn and her team at Work Truck Solutions. Have a conversation about the new profit center that commercial vehicles represent, because it's there. Or if you're already, in the B2B world, find out how they can help you take things to the next level and build towards a profitable and more successful 2025. We all know that those profits, those huge profits from 2021 through 2023 and 2024 are gone now. So it's a question of finding those new revenue streams into your dealership. Start with this one. This is a no-brainer. It brings more sales growth. It brings more customers to both the commercial side of your business as well as all of the other vehicles that you sell, both new and used. And then, of course, on the fixed ops side, it just brings a ton of revenue for you there and repeat business. And to Kathryn's point, you're really helping the community so these people don't have to go outside. And by the way, better you make this call than your competitor, and you kick yourself in the butt later and go, my God, why? How is my competitor selling 100 of these vehicles a month and I didn't get into this? So do yourself a favor. We'll show all the information on the screen here as to how to get a hold of Kathryn and her team. But Kathryn Schifferle, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Very much appreciate it. Love to do a follow-up with you because, as you know, I'm passionate about this very idea. So thanks so much.
I'll look forward to it. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching Driving Solutions, exclusively on CBTNews.com.